Yeah, I mean, the first thing any business needs to consider when they're entering a new market is making sure they understand the market first. So understanding where they're going to sell, the culture, and what's required in those markets and the languages is going to be really powerful. But on top of that, when you're entering that market, you really need to start thinking about where is going to be best to position your brand. What other people are selling a product similar to yours, and how can you differ from the competition? Making sure that you're standing out according to everybody else, but making sure you've localized your business, localized your products and the packaging and all of the instructions and things that go with it is going to be really, really powerful. But ultimately, marketing is going to come down to, for most e-com brands, spending money on ads before you launch. So the biggest thing is, you need eyes on your product. So initially, when you start out, the big thing, the clients that we see that succeed are the ones that are investing in ads and paid promotion, as well as building out their organic traffic, because the organic traffic will get you so far, but ultimately speed to market virtually always wins, and having an ads budget in order to grow on top of your organic traffic is really going to help you when you launch in a new region. Being true to your word, having a very, very clear defined vision, mission, values on your website. Depending on where you're selling is going to adapt to how you deal with this. If you're selling from your own website, you need authentic people on your website. You need authenticity in your social media, your vision, your mission, all those sort of things, but really honing in on the values of the business and people that are able to buy in and reflect that. The power for me that the business owners we see that win are ones that have a solid background, not the fly-by-night e-com brands, but the ones that have got a solid brand already. And they're able to take that methodology, that workings, that marketing, that substance, and really use that to expand into a new market. Because what happens is, when you've got that authority already, that really, really works. When you're developing a Me Too product, a product that's the same as everybody else's, then ultimately you're not going to stand out. It's just a mass volume thing until the next thing comes, and then do something else. If you're looking to build a sustainable business for the long term, you want longevity for the business, then actually building a brand is going to be really powerful. How can you bring the flavor and your values of your business into the real world? You think about all the big businesses that we see now, they stand for something. That's what we and every other business is really trying to do to stand out, is make sure that those authentic values shine through for their brand. The most underrated tip for expanding a business globally is understanding the market. That's it. You need to make sure that you understand the people in which you're trying to sell. Is the product relevant to them? Are the pictures relevant to them? Is the localization of the product relevant to them? Understand the market you're sending to is really, really powerful. Don't just send a product and expect it to sell. Send a product, understanding the market, who you're selling it to. One of the biggest things we talk about in marketing all the time is ICP, ideal client profile. Who's the targeted person you're selling that to? Well, if you're selling it to a 45-year-old bloke in the UK, it's going to be different to a 45-year-old bloke in the US or in Italy or in Spain or in Germany. It's about understanding those nuances to make sure you're selling the right product to the right people in the right region. So getting the localization is really, really powerful when you're selling your brand overseas. And it's the one thing that most people skip over. So here's the thing that most brands do, is they're so hungry to grow that they take on investment. Do not take on investment too early. You need to prove that the product's going to work. Grow slowly. Start as a side hustle. There's no rush. In an e-com, cash flow is critical. So my number one tip for a brand is about making sure that you don't take on investment too early. You don't take on bank loans or debt too soon, especially with personal guarantees. The number two thing that I would do from a brand perspective is start working with influencers. Having worked with influencers that write in your niche is the important thing. And that isn't just about sponsoring Kim Kardashian to promote your product. That's about finding influencers that are in your market, working with your clients or your potential customers to make sure you're getting the right product to the right people, and it's authentic for your brand and that person to do it. And that's the way to do it, nice and slowly, nice and easily, and very, very powerfully.